What up, y'all? This is your boy Gerald. It is June 19th, 2016. Just now, I just put a video out for all the men that have biologically, emotionally, and spiritually connections with their offspring physically, or if they're not connected by blood and bone, you have given kindness. I acknowledge you. You are loved and appreciated. This day also is a representation for those that also know that this is Juneteenth, June 19th, which is the day that the proclamation that was signed by Abraham Lincoln that slavery was ended reached those that were in Galveston, Texas, and in turn they celebrated on this day. But you know what, y'all? I'll go a little deeper because I can say this. You are on the backside of your weekend, and I hope wherever you are well. You are you allowed yourself to rest, take inventory in your life, but more importantly, put in motion what is required for a new week. I know that I would be remiss for my parents because your babies have ended another school year and they are embracing their summer break. Congratulations for seeing the investment. I acknowledge you on that too. But I wanted to put this out because you deserve it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You do it for two reasons. One is because no matter what your environment shows you, you still are. That's right. And don't forget that. No matter what your environment is showing you, you are blessed. You are loved. And you know what? A lot of times we tend to forget that there may be someone, may have been in passing, may have been someone that had a connection to you by family, by association, someone that speaks your name, that they usher in safekeepings for you. How about they see your investment and they want you to proverbially win? How about that? That's right. So they pray for you. They hope that whatever he's going through, whatever the circumstances is, because the devil, that devil's a liar, the master of deception, the master of manipulation, the great deceiver. See, he already knows your life. He was privy that the moment God breathed the breath of life into your physical form. Because see, you got to understand, y'all, you are a spiritual being first. That's right. So this means nothing. This is just a means of being able to transition on this earthly realm, y'all. That's all. So it's very important that you stay protected, stay grounded, speak your truth, because until you are able to be the champion of your fears, you know, fears, finally, everything's a reality. Until you're able to stand with planted feet and look at whatever obstacle, whatever challenge, whatever division, can you truly know what peace of mind is. I know that that's something that some of y'all secretly desire. You want peace of mind so bad, and you rightfully should. You deserve that. You deserve that. So we got to have a plan of attack. Some of y'all may think that, well, you know what, Gerald, because of the situation that I've placed myself in by making choices that I've made, well, it's out of my control. I'm here to tell you that's not true. That's what they want you to believe. That's what those people that have already invested in you want you to hold on to as a belief system. Because, see, mind you, nobody wastes time on something that cannot grow. They don't do that. That's why you can't water something that is dead and expect that it will breathe life and resurface. Now, can that be so? Yeah, if God wants it to be. But as long as you've got air in your lungs, as long as you've got that beautiful heart inside, see, we're going to remove them shackles off that heart. See, I know some of y'all have been held hostage from yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, talk to your spirit right now. And the belief system that you have built through time. It's kind of like having a wound and you have a scab on it, but there's infection underneath. It doesn't matter how much the skin goes over there until you cut that out, until you purge what is toxic, can you be free. So that means we got to purge what's up here. We got to purge what we think our reality really is. The perception. See, your reality means nothing. Means not unless it has unless your perceptions sign off and make it true. They are tandem. And what is a perception? Perception is a belief. What is a belief? It's a habit. What's a habit? It is a pattern. And what is a pattern? How is it formed? It is formed with a thought. So you have to look at it as how did that thought come to be? There's always spiritual influence in everything that you do. Everything. But it means not if you do not embrace your discernment. You know why? Because see, deep inside you, the real little boy and little girl exist. I know I'm talking to somebody. That little boy and that little girl is relying on the choices that you make every day. And see, I get it too, because see, I know that some of y'all have had some cards dealt Or you may have been reared in an environment from day one, and your belief systems are true to you because that's all you know. For example, if I'm reared in a environment where there's constant conflict, where day to day is like a survival mode, when someone shows you kindness, you're going to dispel it because you're going to assume that there's an agenda. But see, I'm a firm believer of this. See, God loves you so much, he'll show you favor when you don't deserve it. I know I'm talking to someone. See, nothing happens by chance, y'all. You know why? Because you woke up today. You know why you woke up today? It's because you have a purpose to fulfill. You have a promise that you must fulfill. And that is the footing of your direction. If you think you're just going through life, breathing, taking up space, and have a nomadic lifestyle because you think, well, that's just how it is, and that's what it is. I'm telling you, that ain't nothing but the devil luring you away from what you truly need. In other words, everything that you are experiencing is the consolation prize of what is truly bestowed for you. But you can't have those things until you come back to you. Do you hear me? Are you feeling what I'm saying? Why? Because God sees your work because he created you. Come on, man. So what I'm saying is step out of your pride, step out of your fear, and run back to you. Because I know there's some people right now, they have this mindset. They say, well, you know what, Gerald? Deep down inside, that ain't how I am. But it seems like my efforts, that's all that's produced, and I don't get it. I don't have control of what's going on. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have to sign off on it. You have to sign off. That's what free will's about. Now, let's make no bones about it now. You're dealing with the Great Deceiver. So guess what? Does it surprise you, your disappointments and your calamity, your heartbreaks and setbacks? If you had an inclination that they were to come, would you embrace it? No, you wouldn't. So it always comes like a thief in the night. It always comes like a box with a pretty bow on it. Like, here you go. Mm-mm. Because see the devil knows who you're destined to be. See that person is blessed. That person has a testimony, and that testimony is going to inspire those people that are going to come behind them. That person has wisdom. That person sees their worth, and that person speaks their truth. Why? Because they love themselves. They're not the prize, they're the investment. And you know what? I know someone said, you ain't talking about me, Gerald. No matter what your environment is, eventually, sooner or later, you'll also understand why they were the exception of the rule. See, sometimes God will bring people in your life to show you where you need to be and what you need to do. You might look at it like this. Well, Gerald, I hear what you're saying, but you know, I'm about getting this paper. I got to get this paper, and I want security. But guess what? What is materialism and security without peace? I'll tell you what that is. That is called a prison sentence. That's what it is. Because you're not at peace. If you're walking around waiting for someone to pull the rug from under you, or if you're worried about, oh, well, you know, he got something on me, or she knows something about me, and if it ever came out, what would I do? Let me tell you something. Anything that's blessed is protected. That's why the devil always got to try to catch you slipping. That's what he does. But see, I understand this too. I know there are people right now, you're saying, Gerald, I hear you saying this all the time, and but that does not remove the longing for that companion. You know, my bed is cold, Gerald. You know, there are things I would love to share with that person. Well, look at it this way. Do you not see a correlation every time you take it upon yourself? And like here, I'm saying you. Here you go. You have me. And it fails and it intensifies every time you do it. Do you see, you know why that happens? It's because the fact that those people were your lessons of what you don't want. And you're being protected for the one because they already know what you need. Your name is on their spirit. Your name is on their heart and their spirit. That's why this will never lead you to the one. It is a spiritual connection because they're spiritual people. So that's a responsibility in itself because they will have the keys to the other side of your life. That's why you'll never find that in a stolen moment. Come on, Queens. I mean, just think about it. Think about every time that you let your pride guide your feet, and what was the end result? Are you waking up somewhere that you don't know how you got there, but you know the end result? That's all demonic, y'all. Because see, the devil's trying to break you. That's why it keeps repeating itself. But see, I get this too. Because guys go through it. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of men out there that long to be with the one, but she will never come because they're not. The one has to be within themselves. They have to have a relationship with themselves first. They have to do the work for themselves first. Therefore, they got to have a connection with God first, so God can show you what intimacy is. Ayana Van Zandt, y'all know her. She's a life coach, motivational speaker, and she coined the phrase intimacy. Into me, I see. If you can't see within you, does it surprise you your environment can't see it either? Because your environment is nothing but a mere reflection of what's found inside. So when you turn around and have a position saying, "Well, Gerald, that's why I don't mess with men no more because they all do the same thing." But guess what? When you try to jump over the fence, you get beat up again emotionally. Why? Because what has to change first is your heart. Isaac Brothers said it best when they sung the song "Choose Your Lover." See, the one will never choose you. They will protect you. Why? Because they know the value of holding your heart. But see, I understand we live in a world where abundance is celebrated, and they say, they have this digital underground, do what you like mentality, and then they're wondering when the pieces fall why they're not there, because you were not the investment, you were the entertainment. But you need to take heed to your circle, because if your circle is not telling you what you need, well, guess what? They're setting you up for the clip too. And they know that, and they also know this: misery loves company. So if they're giving you advice, but they're not living the advice that they give you, that should tell you that ain't your friend. Never was. That is a opportunist. And I'm saying that because I'm sick and tired of seeing men and women take L's unnecessarily, and then you're walking around and now you get this health scare. And you don't understand what's going on. It's a company you keeping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and mind you, let me tell you something. We in the beginning of the summer. This is gonna be a hot summer, y'all. Yeah, we due for a good heat wave this go around. We've been itching for it for a long time, and I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. The mosquitoes. Watch. You're going to be hearing about cases of that Zika virus going around, and they've already made it publicly known. It spreads quicker through sexual interactions. Why? Because it's in the blood, and they've already made it known. There's also a superbug out there that is resistant to all antibiotics. No, you can't turn around and know somebody that can get you a script to make them bumps go away, make that discoloration go away, make that odor go away. No, 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 no. Don't work that way. Because guess what? God said it best. Your body is a temple. It's your responsibility to fortify. That means the things you're not doing, you need to make a regimen so you do. You drinking your water? How about alkaline water? How about taking your vitamins? People ask me all the time, Drew, you say that all the time. You know what? I stay, I stay, my vitamin regimen is on point. I take almost 10 vitamins, different vitamins a day. I do. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that you don't hear people talking about, but I believe is something deeper than that. It's no surprise that where you live at, your skies look the way it is. That is a byproduct of bioengineering, what we know as cloud seeding. Those, and that's why you see the jets running them lines across the sky like a tic-tac-toe board. Why? Because they say the chemicals that they release causes the clouds to manipulate the clouds to rain. Why is it kind of, well, if that's the case, why is it there are areas that haven't seen a drop of rain? There are all these fires going on all over the United States. How about that fire in Alberta, Canada, where 80,000 acres were burned down? So a lot of people lost property. A lot of people, a lot of lives were, you know, were scrapped. It doesn't matter if you had your financial game on point, because you can't replace a memory, but you definitely can't replace a life. So it makes me think of this. It makes me think what God said. Those who were last will be made first, and those who were made first will be made last. There's a divine reason of what's going on. It's really spiritual duality too, because see, right now, there's a lot of people that are walking on this planet that don't know who they are, and they think that the choices that they make from the environments that they're in, that's what's intended. Guess what? You're not supposed to be walking around in pain. You should be constantly growing. But guess what? A divided house can't stand either now, ain't? Think about it. If I keep the masses divided, they won't see what's really going on. That's why it's so important to invest in you, y'all. Because there's only one. You carry your legacy on your back. It's not sexually transmitted. It's spiritually given. That's why I say this, Queen. I say this because I love you. Do you not see what's going on? We are in an environment where we celebrate false validation. We celebrate bad behavior. We don't protect the things that matter most, which is you. But nobody can relate, no one can replace you. So it's important that you see your work. So once again, what about them damn wounds you got? Hmm? Huh? What about that emotional backpack you've been carrying since your childhood? That great wound, that one. What about that one? The one that if anybody ever found out, I don't know what I would do. Don't you realize as long as you choose not to acknowledge what is broken, it cannot be fixed. How about redirected? And you are breathing life in that wound. So does it surprise you, king, queen, why you walk around so angry inside? But yet that ain't nothing but misdirect passion for yourself. But when someone comes, say, hey, what's wrong? You don't speak your truth. Why is that? Because that's fear. And what is a life walking in fear? That's a disappointment. So if you're tired of living a life that is not fruitful, because you can have all the money in the world. We already know what is a man to inherit the earth by way of losing his soul. So, the devil's going to give you all you want. But at the end of the day, he always collects. It shouldn't be by way of your heart. It shouldn't be by way of those precious tears. And see, that's so ironic, though, because we got people that walk on this planet right now. They call themselves adults, grown-ups, but you won't even cry. Don't you know your tears clears and cleanses your soul? Because inside you, there's a root. That root is got your heart intertwined, and it can't grow. Here's a visual. Remember the Grinch? I know some of y'all say, I work with one right now. And then you wonder every day, they amaze you on the level that they will stoop. First of all, let's call a spade a spade. Demons are real. Do not think that they don't exist. And you may be seeing the bad behavior illustrated through someone's behavior because that person that stands before you is broken. They're broken and they're tormented. They're tormented, excuse me, and they want nothing more to free themselves, but they don't know how, because guess what? The patterns, the illustrations of what makes their perceptions or their mindset, that's all they know. So guess what? Does it surprise you? You see people and they age before their time, and then you have some that mind is gone. You see them, they be out there just like walking zombies. And uh, let me segue real quick because I'm gonna throw this out here too, y'all. Some of y'all might not know this, some of y'all may, but y'all, we get ready to go into a pandemic in epic proportion. It's already started. You've gotten people that are so broken that they choose to escape, and they have addictions. Some is alcohol, some is sexual. That's right. You don't even feel like you're breathing, you're alive unless someone's on top of you. You think that orgasmic release is like a purging. It's like it just makes everything all right. But what you don't realize is you are depriving that for the intended person. You are, so guess what? The byproduct is you see it in your body. Your body, you start aging before your time, because that person that is in your life not only has a commonality with you, there's a spiritual influence going on. And because we are not able to see what's in someone else's spirit, whoever has the stronger influence, the weaker is going to take on the traits. They're going to take those traits on. You may see it in their mannerism, the way they dress. That's not by chance. That is nothing but the spirit, and spiritual attack is real. It's real. And I know there might be some people like, Gerald, you talking about some stuff. Well, we live in a technological world, right? You're seeing this video, right? Then why don't you educate yourself? I don't care. Pick the search engine of your choice and look up the traits of spiritual attack. How about understanding demonology? How about that? Do the research for yourself. All we're talking about is you. If you think that you are supposed to carry the burden that your you know okay, how I'm trying to choose my words. If you think that your destiny is supposed to be the shoes that was left by your mother or your father, you saw, or your sister, you saw your sister go through the same stuff, now you going through it. You know why you saw that? Because even in time of calamity, God is trying to educate you indirectly. But if you don't have a connection with yourself, first of all, you're not going to have any empathy because you're not going to understand. You will look at it from a literal sense. And that is why it's so common today where you see people just like, it ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to keep my hands out of it. But yet these same people are in the thick of it. You know why? Because there's an innate connection in your spirit that requires you not to look away. I know I'm talking to somebody. Look, I know there's somebody right now, you're like, you're probably upset. Okay. But if it makes you think, just consider, then this is for you. You're not supposed to spend not 1 hour in pain, in denial. How about ushering the real you to this world to see? What about them hopes and dreams? Hmm? Why do you think you got them hobbies that you got? Because those were your natural gifts. But the world can't see it unless you nurture them. No different than a diamond. A diamond cannot shine unless it is polished. All the rough edges have been broke off. It has been purged. You are the diamond. But maybe your environment has convinced you that you the cubic zirconia. This the best it's gonna be, so accept it. Oh, I love this one. Because I said so. Is that your truth or theirs? You gotta understand, devil's work's not done. But know this: if they genuinely see your worth, why would they stand in your way? Oh, I know I'm talking to someone. And when you decide to see it for the clarity that it is, it will give you a platform to make a decision. You're going to allow someone to define your life, or you going to do the responsibility and grow. Because there are plenty of people, I'm going to tell you this, they they suffer in silence. They suffer from Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome, y'all, if y'all don't know what that is, that's pretty much the oppressor gets a pass. They protect the person. You know, there's an unconditional loyalty through pain. Manipulators use that all the time. But guess what? Manipulators always fall and pay a price. They always do. They always do. Because you can't run from you. You can't run from who you are. That's why you do a disservice if you have a secret. You know what a secret is? That is truth that's not spoken. And the question should be why? Why can't you speak your truth? Hmm? If you saw your worth, you would. But a lot of people won't because it's fear. You see it play out all the time. Well, Gerald, you know what? Prime example. Here's a good prime example. I'm gonna bring this home. Was it yesterday? No, Friday. Heaven wasn't. It didn't just so happen. It was meant for me to catch it. Happened to be out and about, and had the Steve Harvey radio show on, right? And every day at about 8:05, they do what we call the Strawberry Letter. Strawberry Letter, for those who do not know, is when listeners will write a letter about a situation in their life, and they're seeking advice from the on-air personality. And there was a lady that wrote in that said that she was married for 20 years and she hated her husband. His uh, what she said? She hated her husband, and uh, when they're out and about, there's an obvious division between the two. And when it comes, people can ask him for money. He'll give it to them before he will give it to her. As well as um, if he does go out and she's with him, he just takes his sweet time and either leaves her in the car or just pretty much he's doing his own thing. And she said there have been many times where she has seen him with his cell phone talking to another woman. Now, you know, right there, that's speculative. But we're looking at the behavior pattern. Then the lady said, yeah, I hate him. We've been together for 20 years and I don't love him. Only reason why I was with him was for financial reasons because I'm unemployed. So you see all the signatures in that, right? You see all the wrongs on both parts, right? So you chose to invest your time in someone for security. They both do not respect each other because they don't communicate. So they both do not see their worth of their time. But yet, she's miserable. Well, doesn't that yell, obviously, number one, you aligned yourself with someone you should have never been with because love was never there. Now, they didn't say if there were children involved, but she made sure the things that needed to be identified, such as I'm there for financial reasons and I'm unemployed. So let's flip it. What if she had chose to invest in herself? She would have spoke her truth from day one because she would have saw her worth and respected herself. She also made it point that she's unemployed. So what was preventing you from investing in you? You see the commonality I'm saying? Now let's look at him. He had no respect for her, but he married her. If he saw her worth, why would he enable her to not work? Unless that was an agreed upon decision from the beginning. So pretty much what I'm saying is, why are you getting mad now? I'll tell you why. Because she's probably looking at it for what it is, and she realized that these decisions had a price. But you know what the big price was? If she had chose to love herself, she wouldn't be going through what she's going through now. And who's to say that the person that was divinely meant to be in her life would have been there if she did? How about those goals and aspirations? Maybe the reason why she was with that guy, her husband, he was just to show an illustration of what you could have on your own merits. But she didn't. She said, hey, this bus is going somewhere. I'm just going to drop my token and I'm going to go with it no matter what. So now you got two people that are miserable. And he obviously doesn't value his wife because why are you going to go on and add more drama? And I mean, let's look at it like it is. And I'm going to bring this home. We attract what we are, right? You do understand that? Whatever's in your spirit makes your reality. So if that's the case, if he valued her, remember, you gave her your last name, but you ain't protecting her heart. She ain't protecting yours. Why? Because y'all don't talk. Why? Because I guarantee you there was some deception done on both parts, and there's still selfishness continuing because she didn't state, I'm going to get a divorce. So she obviously doesn't see her worth, nor her respect. Oh, so you're going to sit in some misery because of materialism that you can't take with you? Trust and believe, there are many husbands and wives that wear wedding bands. They're there for the ride. But guess what? It's bumpy for a reason. It's to show you that's not where you should have been to begin with. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking, I bet you a nickel to a dime. She got somebody on the side too. But no, but they're still selfish because not one of them will say, well, you know what? Let's look at it like this. We can try to work this out together and we'll do some counseling. Or let's be adults and agree that this isn't gonna work and take the needed steps. But see, we live in a world where I'm not gonna give you my stuff. Don't you realize there's no price on you? Look, you can't put a price on peace of mind. That's one thing I've learned too. Oh, you hanging around because of this? You can have that because guess what? Now, you just gave me an opportunity to go buy some new stuff. And I'm saying that with compassion, y'all. I'm saying that with compassion because far too many times, y'all, especially you queens, y'all take L's that you shouldn't because you put a price tag on your body. You put a mortgage on your. You want this instead of putting on a price on your heart. See, it doesn't matter how much money he got. If he don't protect you, he ain't the one. But see, we got a lot of these women out here. Men are doing it too. And see, that's the byproduct of that too, because now you got a lot of men that won't get off the couch. Oh, he might be the most handsome guy you ever met. Conversations like honey to your ear, but he ain't got no drive. He got no drive. So guess what? Since he ain't got no drive, y'all ain't going nowhere. Come on now. Yeah. So I hope that this weekend, wherever you are, take stock in your life. Look at who you have in your circle. How about those people that you have to forgive? When you choose to forgive someone, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you because you're removing the spiritual shackles that you have. And let me tell you something. You might want to look at this too. It doesn't get better until you acknowledge what is evident. And if your path and pattern has always been broken, there's always been, that's not your story. It's not. Maybe now, maybe now that you'll finally have the courage to admit to yourself, hey, I deserve better. And no matter what you was working with, what your perceptions, your beliefs were, you fell short. And you asked God to make a way when there is no way. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The people that have not deserve to hear you breathe, the people that were not there to empower, only to enable, the people that were there to only set you up for failure, guess what's going to happen? You're going to see them. You're going to see them. Go get you some white sage, start burning it. But remember, everything that is intended for your life, it comes in the intended time. So do the work. And I know somebody said, well, Joe, I'm still lonely. You're not lonely for companionship. You're longing intimacy with yourself. When you run back to yourself, you fall back in love with the real you. And I guarantee the blessings will be on the other side. God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your work for that, because it helps me discern mine. Love don't hurt, y'all. So maybe that's why you're hurting, because you're not loving on you. Be blessed.